Okay, this is going to be a review of the first couple of weeks. Here's some things you probably should know. 25.4 millimeters in an inch. 1 liter of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1 kilogram. And a pint's a pound the world around. The North Star, I hope you know where it is and its elevation, which is your latitude. The Earth is approximately 8,000 miles in diameter and 93 million miles from the sun. Speed of light is 186,000 miles per second. Acceleration due to gravity on Earth is about 9.8 meters per second per second. That is also 32.2 feet per second per second. You'll often hear that as 32.2 feet per second squared. A ball dropped. 1 second later will be traveling at 32.2 feet per second. A ball dropped. 2 seconds later will be traveling at 64.4 feet per second. That is assuming no air resistance and under the force of gravity. In addition, there was other things to learn this week, first couple of weeks here. One of them would be that the definition of pi is the circumference divided by the diameter of a circle. This is what we're calling base knowledge. The diameter is actually 2 radii. The diameter is a chord of a circle that goes through the center of the circle, and the radii, 2 of them are in a diameter. The definition of pi and some knowledge of revolution gets you the formula for circumference, 2 pi r, which directly comes from the definition of pi being circumference over diameter. It also gives you the area of a circle, pi r squared. You'll see it a lot of different ways there. I'm just writing out pi to save myself the hassle of going through the symbol library in this presentation software. We will remember and we should learn that calculators can be your friend or your enemy, depending on whether you use the machine to leverage your learning or to replace your learning. We learn to store information in our calculators in real variables, in lists, in matrices, which are more or less lists of lists, and in string variables. And we know that though in most programming languages you can have lists of strings or matrices of strings, it doesn't appear to work that way in your calculator basic program. So we learn to put those string variables into, or those string values or word values into the string variables, which are available through the variables key on your calculator. This is all some new to some, review to others, and it does feed into our strength. We remember that the North Star is north, and it's at 45 degrees, and that the tangent of 45 degrees is 1. So we do want to kind of start to put some of these kind of world exposure knowledge, I guess if I would call it that, into something that we can use on a day-to-day basis. We learned how scientific notation works on your calculator by pressing the E. You get a little symbol that tells you something times 10 to the 9th power. For instance, if it's 6E9, that means 6 times 10 to the 9th power. We know how the stow works to put some information into a variable. We also learned that we can get to any command through the catalog, but most commands are better assessed through a functional grouping on the calculator. We've mentioned that before, that you get to the string variables through the variables button on the calculator, and that string values must be enclosed in quotes so that the program knows it is a variable that goes into a variable and not the variable itself. We need to leverage technology, including calculators. You've heard that sometimes people go to Jupiter to get more stupider. We're trying to go to Mars and get more candy bars, I guess. Finally, in the equation, y equals 5x plus 65, that is the standard slope-intercept form of an equation. 65 being the slope-intercept, where that function, which is a straight line, crosses the y-axis, and 5 being the slope, which is the change in y over the change in x, or the rise over the run. Again, if the North Star is at